Have you ever wondered why some people qualify for low-income housing or other benefits while others don't? A big part of that decision comes down to something called Area Median Income, or AMI. And believe it or not, AMI can make a huge difference between getting the help that you need or being told that you make too much, even if you're struggling to afford your rent. So let's talk about how AMI works, how you can find out what it is in your area, and why more and more programs are switching to AMI instead of the federal poverty level. So AMI is a way to measure what's considered middle income in your area. Every year, the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, or HUD, calculates the median income for every metropolitan area and county in the country. And if you think about it, this makes a lot of sense, right? Because the cost of living varies a lot depending on where you live. San Francisco is going to be a lot more expensive than rural South Dakota, for example. It's important to remember that the median income isn't the average, it's the middle number. They line them all up, they pick the middle one, right? This means that half of the households in your area make more than this amount and the other half make less. This number is important because it's used to determine income limits for housing programs, rental assistance, and even certain healthcare benefits. Programs like Section 8 housing choice vouchers, public housing, and low-income housing tax credit properties all use AMI to decide who qualifies. But AMI doesn't just affect housing. A lot of other programs use it too, so it can also determine your eligibility for childcare assistance, hardship grants, and so much more. AMI is typically divided into different income levels based on percentages. If you make 30% of your area's AMI or less, you're considered extremely low income, and you may qualify for most assistance. If you make 50% or less, you're very low income and could still qualify for a lot of housing and support programs. And if you make 80% or less, you may still qualify for some affordable housing options, but with fewer subsidies. Some programs have eligibility criteria at 100% of AMI, or even more than that. It just depends on the program that you're trying to apply for. For example, let's say the median income in your area is $70,000 a year. That means that 30% of AMI would be $21,000 or less, 50% would be $35,000 or less, and 80% would be $56,000 or less. If you lived in an area like that and you fell into any of those categories, you may be eligible for programs that could help lower your rent, help with utilities, or help you access affordable benefits. Now, I know that this is one reason why so many people miss out on what they're eligible for, and that's because they're used to the calculation being based on the federal poverty level, which is an entirely different measure. In the past, many government programs, in fact, most of them, used the federal poverty level, also called the FPL. But that's changing. More and more programs are switching to the AMI, and there's a really good reason for that. The federal poverty level is the same across the entire country, whether you live in New York City or a small rural town, and it's very out of touch with the actual cost of living. We have a whole nother video that'll explain to you why that is. But for now, I just want you to know the federal poverty level for a single person right now is just over $15,000 a year, no matter where you live. And we all know that $15,000 a year goes a lot farther in some places than it does in others. That's the big problem with FPL. It doesn't take into account what the actual cost of living in your area is. That's why AMI is becoming the preferred way to measure income eligibility. Unlike FPL, AMI adjusts based on where you live. It recognizes that rent in San Francisco is going to be way higher than a small town in Ohio, and it makes sure that the income limits reflect those differences. That means people in high-cost areas can still qualify for assistance even if they make more than the national poverty level. Another reason AMI is gaining popularity is that it provides a more accurate reflection of local economic conditions. It considers not just national numbers, but what's actually happening in your community. That's why housing programs, Medicaid expansions, and even some tax credit programs are switching from FPL to AMI-based eligibility. It's a fairer system because it accounts for regional differences and helps more people who truly need assistance in expensive areas. So how do you find your area median income? The easiest way is to check HUD's income limits. Every year they publish a chart that shows the median income for each area and what counts as low income. You can find this by visiting the link on screen. Many local housing authorities and nonprofit organizations also have AMI charts on their websites as well. If you're applying for Section 8 or any other housing program, they'll usually tell you exactly where you fall based on your household size and income. Knowing your AMI is powerful. It helps you understand what benefits you qualify for before you apply, and it helps you advocate for yourself if you're denied assistance unfairly, and it helps you plan for your financial future. And here's something important. AMI changes every year. Just because you didn't qualify for something last year doesn't mean that you won't qualify this year. So if you've been turned down before, it's always worth checking again. Area median income is more than just a number. It's the key to unlocking important resources that could help lower your rent, cut your bills, and improve your financial stability. If you're wondering where you fall, make sure to check out lirlinks.com/AMI, where we've linked to easy-to-use tools to help you figure it out. So, do you think AMI rules are fair? Have you ever been told you make too much for assistance even though you're struggling? I'd love to hear about your experience in the comments, and don't forget to check out our other videos for more ways to save money and get free stuff.